taking time. Well, after talking about plot as one of the most important formative elements in tragedy, we shall go ahead with the next important element with reference to Aristotle's views on poetics and tragedy in his poetics. Now let's try to understand the second element, characters. Characters means what exactly? So characters are men and women who act in that incident, in that action. And these men and women can be the hero and the heroine, and other subsidiary characters. The hero and the heroine are two important figures among the characters. And the characters are essential in the process of the plot or in the progress of the plot. The characters serve to advance the action of the story and vice versa. Vice versa means the opposite is also there. Means it is the action of the story which makes the characters to advance. To advance means to progress, to develop. The characters also develop as the story develops. So the characters and the action of the story are reciprocal. They are important to each other, we can say. Now, what do we do in our lives? What are we doing right now? We are trying to achieve something in our lives. So the aims we pursue in our life, our happiness and our misery, all is an action. So it forms the action. Means whatever actions, means whatever we try to achieve in our life, it can be happiness or whatever misery, everything is the form of action. And tragedy is not a mere imitation. Tragedy is not written merely to imitate man, but to imitate man in action. So, what is important? The man should be in action. Tragedies were written only of those people who were in action, means they did something in their lives. So, according to Aristotle, happiness consists in a certain kind of activity, rather in a certain quality of character. Your action is important. Who you are, that is not important. Where you are born is not important. What you do, that is important. And happiness is in doing, in pursuing the end in your life. Happiness is not something, which you achieve once and that's it. Happiness is in what we do. Means we get happiness in our actions. That's what he says. It's not a quality of character. Now here I shall refer to David Digest. I quote him. The way in which the action works itself out, the whole causal chain which leads to the final outcome. Unquote. So what Digest says, the way in which the action works itself out, the way the action is done, and the whole cause and effect, causal chain means cause and effect, leads to the final outcome. And the character reveals the individual motivations of the character in the book. The character reveals the individual motivations in the play, what they want to do or what they don't want, and how they react to certain situations. So that is very important for Aristotle than thought. Okay, so action is important, more important than thought. Thought, deals on a more universal level with reasoning and general truths. Action, therefore, you must be knowing that tragedies are, about the kings, about the princes, warriors, etc. They are men in action. So tragedy does not deal with thoughts. It should not, according to Aristotle. It should talk about the action. So this is how we understand the importance of character. Well, we have already talked about characterization in a discussion of literary terms. I once again suggest you to keep visiting your canvas page for literary terms. Apart from that, you can refer to glossary of literary terms and all. There are different kinds of characters. Characters can be flat characters and round characters. Then there can be what we call the major characters and minor characters. So all this information is given there in your canvas, that in the discussion of literary terms and concepts.